Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 6. Yes, I'm Jack, and this is going to be quite fun today, because today we are going to set up a 5 times ore processing system type thing. And it's quite hefty, if I may say so myself. Currently we have a 3 times ore processing setup right here, where we do the whole stuff and thing, and we do the crushing, and we do the smelting, and the enriching, and all the stuff and things. But I have made a little test setup over here. I wanted to make this outside because, as you can see, it's quite large. And this is going to be in addition to what we have up in our base place. So, yeah, I'm gonna have some thinking and designing to do because we need to put this in there somewhere. But yeah. So I'm thinking let's go through all of this first, and then when I rebuild it, I can show you all the settings and stuff and things. That sounds like a good idea to me. So let's do that. So the first thing that I would like to point out, that's this block right here, and this block right here, and this block right here. There's one more of them up in the base over by the smelting stuff and things. And these are quantum entangleporters. They basically transport items wirelessly between them. You set them up pretty much like a flux network. So if I pop into here, I can make a private network basically, and I can connect the entangleporters to each other. And when I've done that, the items or whatever item, gas, liquid, whatever stuff, power even, that you put into one of those will be distributed to all of the nodes in the entangleporter network. So that's the thing. So I'm using this to move some stuff and things. So let's start with the beginning, shall we? To get started with this, you need this module right here. I'm going to break this up into modules for you so that it's a little bit easier to understand. But the ore processing itself happens in these 2 blocks right here, the dissolution chamber and the chemical washer. In the chemical dissolution chamber, you are going to make what's called a slurry from whatever ore you want to process. So this is where you yeet them in, and this is where it starts. So the dissolution chamber is going to dissolve your ore in sulfuric acid and make a dirty slurry of whatever type ore you put in there. So if I put in an iron ore, it will be dirty iron slurry, and then it will put this into the chemical washer, which will make this into a clean chemical slurry thing of the ore. And in my setup, I put this into my entangleporter, and I probably move that up here. Yes, I do. I move this up here, and then it goes into the crystallizer. The crystallizer is it takes your slurry in here, and then it just makes that slurry into a crystal, and then you inject that crystal with some hydrogen, and then you get clumps that you can actually smelt and stuff. So that's what's going on over there. And yeah, so that's the thing. So to get this all started, you need the sulfuric acid for your dissolution chamber, and that is what all of this right here is for. Yeah, it's a couple blocks. It's a bit of a pain to understand, but it's fine. It's fine. We're breaking this down. So this is one module right here. We have electrolytic separators to basically get this pressurized reaction chamber to make sulfur dust. And that dust is going to be transported up into the oxidizer, and it's going to make sulfur dioxide, which is a thing. So you take oxygen, you do the whole thing, and then it's like, yeah, you get the thing. Yes. So to get started, you basically use this module right here to make sulfuric acid that goes into the dissolution chamber. Your dissolution chamber is where you put your ore in, and this is going to dissolve everything in sulfuric acid, put it into the washer, and make like a clean slurry type thing. Then it goes into the crystallizer, then it goes into the injection factory, and then you put it to your smelting array. So let's start with how to make your sulfuric acid. The acid itself is going to be made in a chemical infuser. At the end here, we're going to stop there. I think we're going to start at the beginning. So you take an electrolytic separator. I know I can word. Don't worry, I can word. I swear. You put it into the electrolytic separator, the water, and then you produce oxygen and hydrogen as we usually do in our separators. I think we have some up there. And you put this into a pressurized reaction chamber. Your reaction chamber needs oxygen, it needs water. And when you place some coal in here, it can be charcoal, it can be coal, it can be block of coal, it can be whatever. And then you get your sulfur dust. I have placed a chemical tank at the front here because the reaction chamber produces hydrogen, but it doesn't really have a way of getting rid of it, which is kind of a problem. So I just put it into this chemical tank, and I just dump everything that is in excess. So we have quite a lot of this. Anyway, after you have your sulfur, you put this into a chemical oxidizer, which means that it will take the sulfur dust and it will make it into sulfur dioxide, which is absolutely great. So then you take your oxygen from the electrolytic separator you have, you put that into a chemical infuser together with your sulfur dioxide. With more oxygen, it makes sulfur trioxide. And now we're almost there. Your trioxide or sulfur trioxide goes into another chemical infuser, and then you need water vapor, which is very simple to get. You just need a rotary condensator with some water pipe to it, and that will just make water vapor. You need to toggle this to be deconcentrating because it can go both ways. So when you decondensentrate your water, you get water vapor. You put that water vapor in together with your sulfur trioxide, and that makes sulfuric acid. Now, that is pretty much the entire setup you need to get started with your dissolution chamber. So if I now, let's see, if I do, no, that's wrong. I need the slurry to be off. There we go. So if I now place an iron ore in here, you see I get dirty iron slurry. Then we will take this one and I will remove the auto eject on that so we can follow this all the way. Now when I set the correct one to on, it places the slurry in here and it starts to process it, or basically wash it, and it creates the clean iron slurry. And I think this counts as an item apparently, because this just popped up over here. We have this setup with the entangleporters. I have set this one to slurry, which is the same as this one over here, so this one is also slurry. So I pipe my slurry into this entangleporter right here, and this entangleporter right here dumps the slurry into the crystallizer, and I'm going to place... No, let's talk through it first. So your only ore processing blocks here is the chemical dissolution chamber, your chemical washer, your chemical crystallizer, and your advanced injecting factory. It doesn't have to be an advanced one, but you know this is a thing. So to get your hydrogen chloride, you need an entangloporter that I've set up here, which is set to my brine. We'll go through that in a second, how to get that brine. But you need brine, and you put this into an electrolytic separator, and you make sodium and chlorine. Then you have another electrolytic separator, which makes hydrogen and oxygen, as they normally do. So you want this to be idle so that you don't use more power than you need. But yes, you make hydrogen, you make oxygen, you take that hydrogen and you put this into your chemical infuser together with your chlorine, and you combine that into hydrogen chloride, which you give your injection factory, and then you're pretty much done. Okay, I got a little carried away again. After thinking about the fact that we now have some unobtainium, I figured that why not upgrade my gear a little bit? We now have some absolutely insane armor. So I made the unobtainium jetpack and put all of the stuff and things on it. And we now have Vitality 6 on that. And the leggings and the boots. It's ridiculous. I like it. I really like it. And I also made this unobtainium paxel. I put an unobtainium tip upgrade on it as well. So these are the stats. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I love it. I love it. We're so OP right now. Now we just need to get into some more efficient weaponry, and then we can go do a whole bunch of absolutely insane stuff and things. And I'm really looking forward to that. But we need to talk about brine. And this is where I make my brine, because you need that for the ore setup over there that I talked about earlier. So we have a thermal evaporation plant that takes water and warms it up and makes it into brine. Now, there are two things, a couple things. You need the thermal evaporation blocks, and from inside of here you can see that mine is a height of 18, which is the maximum currently. So you kind of want to do that to get most out of this. Then you need some evaporation valves. This is where you connect stuff to get brine out and to get water in. And then you need heat. As you can see here, I have, I have mine in Kelvin. So this is about 2.3 thousand Kelvin at the moment. And that is highly efficient. So inside here, I have my entangloporter connected with a mechanical pipe to extract brine. And then over here, oh, I forgot to turn on my jetpack. Oh, no, controls, bloop, like so. And here you see, it's closed on the bottom, but it's actually open on the top. I'll see if I can pop one over here. So this is all open. So I have these right here. It's a thermodynamic conductor. You can make these in several tiers. It doesn't have to be the elite one. I just made this because I had the resources. And then I have two resistive heaters. I power these with just normal power. And I have this sink placing water into this valve right here. I see it doesn't look like it's connected, but it is. So the heaters, I currently have mine set to using about 600 per tick. And that produces about 1000 Kelvin of heat. And then we yeet the heat into this thermodynamic conductor, and that goes into one of these valves, and then that produces heat inside of this plant. And that is how you make brine. It's pretty simple, but you really need it, and you need quite a bit of it. Okay, I have now moved the entire stuff and thing up into a new floor of our base. So let's see, over here you can see I have made no changes. That is because we have the quantum entangloporter, which is our input from the other processing units, or modules rather. So I made this this second floor up here. I haven't prettified much of this yet. As you can see, we have some holes, but yeah. So we have our two modules over here. They look a little bit different than from down when I built it out in the open, because I want it to look a little bit different. Now this one is gonna be removed like so, because we don't want any well, we don't want any faults with things going in the wrong place and yada yada. Yes. So let's have a closer look at all the inputs and outputs and stuff. So first of all, I have my sink over here. And as you can see, this goes... Oh, I forgot to connect the cable. Fluid pressurized tube. Mechanical pipe. Here we go. And like so. Completely forgot to fix that. But yeah, now that's fine. So, sink, we have fluids going into here and here. This little thing here, if you're not used to working with mechanism pipes, or anything that has to do with mechanism transporting stuff and things, you have a configurator, you crouch, or well, you can press N to get this wheel up. You select item, you crouch, and then you just right click this until it says pull. Then it will pull all of this out into that thing. And as you can see, it's all connected in the background there. You can use the previous explanation to understand how things are supposed to go together. Now the electrolytic separator, you can see here we have our config, we have our output set on the right side, and that's pretty much it. It goes into this one. Well, actually, it's not that thing, it's the gases we're interested in. The gases are set to auto eject, so it pumps them out continuously to the right, and then we get it into this tube right here. And then we get it into our reaction chamber, which is supposed to output to the top. And then, let's see, we have output to the top, and that's the only thing it's supposed to eject, I believe. Now, our oxidizer. Let's see, I should actually put some more coal in here because I'm trying to fill up the tubes. And as you can see, this one is not even close to filling up. So this one goes up here, it's creating stuff and things, and this is supposed to output sulfur dioxide to the right. And that is, I believe, gas. So then it goes out here. As you can see, our output is on auto eject on the right side. Then we have our chemical infuser, which is supposed to take our sulfur dioxide and our oxygen from the bottom, and sulfur dioxide from the top. So we have our gas input orange, which is this one over here. And then we have our other input, which is the red one. And then we output our sulfur trioxide out here. And then this is also supposed to get input from the right. It's supposed to get input from the left, and it's supposed to auto output to the bottom, which it does because we have our sulfuric acid over here, our condensator. Yes. This one is supposed to be set to decondensating, and as you can see, it's now making water vapor and doing all the stuff and things. Now we have the chemical washer, which is just supposed to get some water from the sink. I believe this is underneath now, so we need some fluid input. Yeah, this is input everywhere currently, but you only need the bottom technically. And then you have the item input on the left. And that's pretty much it. And it's outputting to our lovely entangler on the back there, which is coming back to our entangler over here. Now we're processing crystals, we're putting them into here, and all of the stuff seems to be working. Let's go downstairs and see if we can find some stuff here. Oh yeah, this is working just fine. We're getting plenty of stuff and things. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We now have 5 times ore duplication, or not even duplication anymore, it's quintupling. Yes, quintupling. Yes, or quintupling. Let's call it that. Or quintupling. It is absolutely amazing to have this. I get so much more out of my ores now. It is a dream. I have some more prettifying to do. I have some enchanting stuff to do as well, because the Twisted One came by with some dragon skulls, or dragon heads, for us, which means we can make some more of these draconic end shelves. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great. But yeah, I hope you liked the episode. If you did so, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment down below what you think. And if you have any inputs, if you have any ideas, or if there are specific mods you want showcased, just leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll take that into consideration when I'm planning my next stuff and things and adventures and stuff. So that's it for now. Bye-bye!